Hello lovelies, it is Thornie back here with another speed build, and this is my EA build shell challenge. The premise for this, if you've not seen any of my builds before, is that I take an EA build. This one is Sandtrap Flat, which is the hardest name to say, but Sandtrap Flat House, which is located in Oasis Springs. It's a single story. And basically for this challenge I remove all kind of items from the build, so all windows, all furniture, all terrain paint and everything, and take it back to what the shell would have been originally when the person made it, created the building. So I remove everything, I take it back to the drywall and remove the foundation and everything like that. So it's kind of like a reverse challenge, but then a reverse shell challenge, but then you use that shell to create something new. So this is quite small. My 3 rules are simple. I can't add any full-size walls onto the outside of the build. I can't change the wall height, and I can't change the foundation height. So this is quite nice because it is small wall height, which is what I would generally build in most of the time, especially for a house this size. So it means that the windows and doors don't look kind of weird and tiny. You can use like the small wall height doors and windows, and they fit really nicely, so it looks all in proportion. So it's just a simple L-shaped building. It was a 1-bedroom house. I do make it into a 2-bedroom house. Generally, well, I've done a couple of these, and so far I've not really given myself a budget or anything like that. So this isn't, I wanted to make it cheaper because it is a small house. So I was trying to stick to around 18,000. I think, I know definitely, I think we've gone over, I've gone over that, but I think it is less than 19,000. We will check once we go into the live, look through at the end. But I think it is under 19,000, so it is cheaper, obviously, because it is smaller. My sim that I used to build these has like unlimited money, basically, just to make it easy when I'm doing larger houses. And because I've not got sims in mind when I'm creating this, basically I kind of go through, I'm looking at windows and doors that I like the style of. I pick these pink ones. We don't stick with the pink, but I thought these are quite nice because the colours match. I like these yellow windows, and so then I'm looking for a yellow door to try and match with it, and that kind of gives me an idea of where I'm going with the build. Sometimes I do the outside first. I do all the windows and the kind of the roof and the wall colours and everything, and then other times I do kind of end up jumping from one thing to another. So I'll do bits of the outside, bits of the inside, and as I come across things in the build catalogue or the the kind of the decorations and furniture and things, if I see something that I'm like, oh, that might look nice in this room, then I jump over to the other room and place it down just so I don't forget. So apologies if it is a little bit all over the place. You can see here I'm doing the floors on the inside before tackling the walls on the outside. So I do like these sort of plain white wooden floor because it's not something that I generally use a lot of, but with it, this being kind of like a desert kind of house, I thought the kind of the cool looking white wood would be quite nice. And I do go with that aqua colour bathroom. I mean, it's bright, it's aqua, which again is not something that I would generally go with in a build, but I just wanted to add a little bit of colour, kind of keeping the inside sort of simple and plain and sort of calm. And I thought that the aqua tile is maybe a little bit much, but it's I think it's quite nice. I don't know whether I'd have it in my own house. And if you did want to download this, because it will be on the gallery, feel free to get rid of the turquoise tile. I won't judge you. Um, but yeah, I just wanted it a little bit of colour. I like to try something different. I think it's easy when you're building in The Sims to kind of get into the habit of using the things that you're comfortable with, that you would like in your own house maybe, or that you just use all the time, so you know that in the Sims houses it will look good. And I do have builds like that where I kind of tend to pick the same furniture that I like, or the same sofa that I like. I use it in all the builds. So this one I was trying to veer away from that a little bit and do something a little bit different. It is quite a small space, so I am kind of looking around. I mean, the floor plan is relatively straightforward because it's basically an L-shaped room, an L-shaped building, so you've not got that many ways that you can go with the floor plan. But I'm glad that I managed to get in a second bedroom. I think that's quite nice. I do make it a kids' room, but you could have don't think you would fit a double bed, maybe up against the wall, but you could definitely fit you can fit a single bed in there. So it's around now that I'm kind of thinking about maybe I should have a budget for this. I hadn't thought about it up until then. So all my decisions up to this point have not been kind of with a budget restriction in mind. But then looking through then for the TVs and things, I'm like, maybe because it's a small house, I should try and keep it kind of a small budget as well. But we do have everything. We have a TV. I put a computer in, albeit the weird square one that looks like something out of the the early 80s. Maybe it's matching the bathroom tile, because that's a bit 80s looking as well. But yeah, we have a computer. We've got the kitchens all set up. Even got a dining table, and it's all, the colours are, I'm just looking at the colours thinking it's all very samey. I feel like this has like become my new style after I've just been saying about wanting to use different items. I feel like now I'm using different items, I'm kind of veering into the very matchy territory. So maybe that's something to look into for the next builds that I do. So now, after doing a bit on the inside, I'm going back to the outside. I think with this, it's because I like to get an idea of the floor plan, and I start furnishing things because I want to see and make sure that it's going to work. So a lot of the time when I'm jumping between like the outside and inside or different rooms, it's because I'm trying to work out if what I'm doing is the right thing, and the furniture that I want to put in will, particularly like in bedrooms, like making sure that the bedroom, like the bed will fit in and there'll be room for like other furniture. Now, I do like that yellow wall, although I don't keep it, but having seen it again doing sort of this voiceover, that yellow is quite nice actually. I might have to use that somewhere else. I mean, it's very bright, but I kind of like it. But I think with the yellow windows it was a bit over the top. Yeah. Also on this challenge, I don't try and keep it within a theme of like other houses that are around about or where it's placed in the worlds. Obviously here in Oasis Springs, I was saying about the keeping the interior kind of cool looking because it is in a kind of a desert environment, but that's not always the case. I'm really not bothered what kind of style house I build. Well, especially in this kind of shell challenge, because you're taking it back down to a shell. I feel like you should have unlimited, access to your imagination in what you can create. Having said that, what I've created here is pretty straightforward. It's not like I've made something super exciting. What I would like to do in one of the next runs of these is create a spa, because Spa Day has just been updated. So we've got extra things like nail polish, you can have like pedicures and things, and I think there's some new like massage tables and the chairs that you sit in. for like the manicures and pedicures, and so there's a few different items. So I thought that would be quite cool to do kind of like a spa build out of one of these EA shells. So that might be the next one that I tackle, because so far I've not done a kind of community lot. I've only done houses, like residential. So that would be interesting, because community lots are something that I don't really get involved in building. I have done some, but a lot of my gameplay, especially obviously when I'm not doing Let's Plays on YouTube, if I'm playing the game just for myself, a lot of the time I don't go anywhere with my Sims. I'm just like, right, these are the tasks that they have to do for work tomorrow, or they have to do the homework for tomorrow, or they've got to, finish this aspiration and do this. So yeah, a lot of the time my Sims are super antisocial. They stay home, do their work, get promoted, and that's about it. I'm really annoyed that that little arts and craft table thing doesn't fit under the bed. I don't know why. I guess because it's a slot for like the desk or for an extra bed. But like the space just seems like if a desk can fit under there, surely that would be able to fit under there. So I'm looking, obviously, like brightening up the walls a little bit. And I think it's around now that I'm kind of thinking about the budget, and that obviously because I've got so much money, it's not telling me. I'm like, I've got no idea how much I've spent. So I'm just kind of adding these extra bits in, like the violin and the guitar and things. And then I'm like, actually, maybe with all these, especially pictures on the walls that can get quite expensive, sort of thinking, maybe I might need to start going through and actually checking how much some of these are, because pictures in particular get really expensive. And then it looks really dull if you've not got anything on the walls. So there are quite a few walls here that are bare. So I'm chucking in a mailbox and a bin for the outside. So I just plonk them down there just so that I know that I've got them. And I'm thinking about fencing off the outside. But I don't like with the fences how they don't match when you've got like the foundation. Can you see it's kind of higher? You can do the fence so it's got a foundation underneath it, but then I think that looks weird as well. So basically there's no pleasing me is what I'm trying to say. So I put the columns there to try and kind of hide the height difference in the fence, or at least the part where it joins, and add this like little roof cover over the porch, and then take ages trying to get it the right size and make sure it all fits in with the other eaves of the roof. There's so many things as well that annoy me. That annoys me, the bottom of the column, that it overhangs the foundation. So there's multiple things that I can complain about if you just, ask me what irritates me in The Sims. So we'll move on away from that. I decide that I don't like that. Columns are costing too much money, but I would like a bit of greenery, so I'm kind of looking through the trees. And again, because I'm trying to keep this within a kind of budget, I do go through and delete some of the pictures, I think, to kind of get some money back, and maybe delete one or two of the plants. And this is when I realised that I can make this into a small home, so you get the benefits of a small home. And because it's only 100 tiles that you can have, and I was at 110, so I'm reducing the size of the little patios, which means we get to 96 tiles. So this is a small house and you get extra perks for living in a small house. So I think that's pretty good. So this is where I'm checking the cost. So it's just over 18,000. But there are still things that I want to add in, and I find these extra bits in the inventory, and I think this is where I go through and delete. I delete the fence. I put down some terrain paint and add in some bits and pieces out of the back. And I go through and delete some of the pictures, move things around a little bit. So we don't have curtains. And don't worry, I know it says we're under 18,000 on that one if you glimpse that view. But I now, because we're under 18,000, I go and put stuff in the back garden. So I put some terrain paint down, and I put, what do I put out there? A table and chairs maybe, and do I put a grill? I can't remember, but I do a little bit of landscaping just to add some greenery. Those kind of I can't remember what they're called, but that grass, like pampas grass stuff, I kind of like it, but the actual like creamy flower at the top, like the grass bit at the top, it's all like floofy in real life. It's so flat, but it's a nice it's so super flat, like it's been ironed. But I do like the look of it. Adds a bit of interest. And yeah, just put a few bit of terrain paint down, few plants. Try and just add a bit of greenery to it, at least just to the front of this. Try add a bit of interest. And I know you can do debug landscaping. I don't have an issue with it, and I'm not bothered by people using debug stuff. But I kind of like the challenge of not using it. And like in my own builds and stuff that I use, if I've not got enough money, I'll use debug stuff. And landscaping in particular, because it's not something that, like, generally debug things aren't classed as like a real item by the game, so Sims just walk straight through them. But I mean, if you've played The Sims for any length of time, you know that your Sims are like walking through the edge of the kitchen counter and those kind of things, or like walking through each other. So seeing them walk through a hedge or something isn't going to be the weirdest thing in the world. But yeah, I do kind of like the challenge of not using debug items. This little table, just by the way, I thought it was it says like a round patio table. I assumed it was like a dining table kind of table, but it's not. So so this is where I'm looking through, trying to find some decent items for outside. So a nice little umbrella, and some chairs just to fill out the space a little bit. The terrain paint, I'm not really a fan of. I think because the edges look so messy, it just kind of looks a bit faded. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And also maybe the colour, because of the step on like the patio, the step up to the kitchen, is obviously an extremely different colour. Okay, so we are now in live mode. This is our house. I did finish off the back a little bit differently. I put a fence around and put some tile down that I thought matched the house a little bit better, rather than having the kind of the orangey red tile and the grey terrain paint. I just thought it finished it off a little bit more. And I did also put a couple of lights above the front and the back door. So it is a little bit more expensive now. I think we're just under 18. So yeah, 18,722 is the lot value. But I did think that those little additional things helped. And I've also moved in a family. So this is the Law family. We've got mum and dad and their daughter. And if you have 3 Sims like that, you have about 5,000 simoleons left over, which I thought is pretty decent. So we've got the simple kitchen, and we could really do with another chair in the dining table. But there is a sofa where people can sit and eat, and we do have space outside as well for eating. We've got the guitar, TV, and then the let's put the walls back up again, and the sort of computer in the corner. In the kids' room, we've just got the desk under the bed, and then kind of the creator table, you know, the creative art table. We've also got some books there as well, so you do have like a bookshelf. Bathroom with the fabulous aqua tiles that I'm not hearing anything negative saying against them. I think it looks great. We do have a tree coming through the wall. I will fix that. And then the parents' bedroom is really simple as well. So because they have got 5,000 simoleons, they have got like money to spend in making this a little bit more sort of homey. Because, yeah, I mean, we do have a couple of skill building, the guitar and the easel. And obviously stuff for the computer, I think, is a big one. You can get a lot of stuff done with that. So, yeah, this is the EA Build Shell Challenge that I've created. This one is a basic one because I was trying to stick to a budget. But I think it's quite nice, a little starter, kind of a starter home. And I hope you like it too. So you can find this on the gallery if you are interested in downloading it. And my name over on Origin is ThorniePlaysTheSims. I will link it down in the description down below. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Give it a like if you have. Give me some comments down below. And I will see you next time.